Rationalist Forum and Periyar Library Readers Circle jointly organized a special meeting on 5th of January 2023 in Periyar, thidal.
பகுத்தறிவாளர் கழகம் மற்றும் பெரியார் நூலக வாசகர் வட்டம் இணைந்து 5/1/2023 அன்று மாலை சிறப்பு கூட்டம் நடத்தினர். இக்கூட்டத்தில் அமெரிக்காவை சேர்ந்த ஃப்ரீடம் ஃப்ரம் ரிலிஜன் அமைப்பை சார்ந்த டேனியல் பார்க்கர், அமிதாப் பால் மற்றும் மராட்டியத்தை சேர்ந்த அந்தரஸ்த நிர்மூலன் சமிதி அமைப்பின் தலைவர் அவினாஷ் பாட்டீல் ஆகியோர் சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்களாக பங்கேற்று உரையாற்றினர். இறுதியில் தமிழர் தலைவர் ஆசிரியர் கி. வீரமணி அவர்கள் ஆங்கிலத்தில் சிறப்புரை ஆற்றினார். தொடக்கத்தில் பகுத்தறிவாளர் கழக மாநில தலைவர் இரா. தமிழ்ச்செல்வன் அனைவரையும் வரவேற்று உரையாற்றினார். பெரியார் நூலக வாசகர் வட்ட தலைவர் வழக்குரைஞர் ஆ. வீரமூர்த்தி அவர்கள் கூட்டத்தின் இறுதியாக நன்றி கூறினார்.
As an organization in 1978. A couple of years before that, our principal founder, Anne Nicola Gaylor, she and her daughter, Annie Laurie Gaylor, were fighting first for women's rights, for women's equality, for women to have equal opportunity, for women to have access to birth control, to plan their families, for women to be able to resist patriarchy and the male macho men who were trying to control women's bodies. The same problem happens around the world where patriarchy is in control. Women did not control their property. They did not own their children. They could not go to college. They could not vote. Can you imagine that? Women could not even participate in their own democracy. So Anne Gaylor in Madison, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a northern state. It's right up next to Canada, right above Chicago, from Chicago, Wisconsin, Canada. And which means right now it's very cold. It's freezing snow, and we came with our coats down to here, which I'm glad it's winter here. They tell me that in Chennai in the summertime, you don't go outside. So Anne Gaylor was fighting for women's rights, and she was opposed to the laws that were oppressing women. And she noticed that the primary enemy of women's rights is religion. She said religion is always putting women down. And one day, she went to the city-county meeting to give a talk. She had some talk about women's rights. But before the meeting began, the meeting at a public event was opened by a Catholic priest. He came up to give a prayer in the name of God. And so Anne, she put her notes down. She said, "Why is there a priest up there with our government? The priest is the problem. That the priest is what we are fighting against. But our government has the priest and the Christian ministers. They're like they are married together." And she was very angry. And after her talk, there was a newspaper reporter. The newspaper reporter came up to her. "What is your name?" "Anne Gaylor." "And what do you want?" She said, "We want to be free from religion." And he said, "You want free from religion?" He said, is that a group? Freedom from Religion group? And she said, yes, there's a group. But there was no group. So the reporter wrote a story in the newspaper and said, there's a group called Freedom from Religion group, and they want to fight against the priests. And so then people were calling on the telephone to Anne's house. "I want to join the Freedom from Religion. I want to join the Freedom from Religion. Me too." So she got her typewriter and started on little cards. "Well, let's start a group." So they start with three people in 1976, and then it grew to 1978, became a national group. Today, we have more than 39,000 members made up And maybe we're close to 40,000. We are hoping, we're not praying, we are hoping that can reach 40,000 members pretty soon from all across the entire country and Canada and some foreign countries. And we started with the issue of women's rights, but it has grown to include all rights of free thinkers. We like to use that word free thinker. And a free thinker is like an umbrella word. Free thinkers are atheist, agnostic, humanist, rationalist, secular humanist. We don't care what name. We don't care. If you want to join our group, you don't have to be atheist. But you do have to support two principles for our group. Principle number one is to keep religion and government separate. That's the number one. Because Ann Gaylor says there can be no religious freedom if you don't have the freedom to dissent, to say no. If you can't say no, you can't say yes. So for that principle number one, keeping state and church separate, right now we have 10 full-time attorneys, lawyers, working to sue the government and to write letters of complaint. They are very, very busy because even though we have a strong constitution to keep religion and government separate, many people in the government, they don't know the Constitution. They think they can do they think they can preach as a governor or as a mayor or as a public school teacher. So we are kind of like the police. You know, if you're driving on the highway and you're breaking the law, breaking the speed limit, who comes to you? The police come and they stop you, they give you a ticket, right? But what happens if you are violating the constitutional law? Where's the police? Who comes to tell you, you are breaking the law, you should stop that? Well, that's our group. We write letters, we complain, we sue, and we are not always successful because sometimes the courts, the judges, they are disagreeing with us. But we are mostly successful in our lawsuits, most of the time. So that's very exciting work. Our principle number two is to educate the public about the views of non-theists, those of us who are non-religious. And we do that with a national television show, national radio show. In fact, tomorrow Annie Laurie is recording radio show number 870 because I won't be there. She's doing it all by herself. We have a new national newspaper called Free Thought Today. We publish books. We also have some blogs, and we are trying to educate people. We have books for adults. We have books for children to let them know about the views of those of us who are not religious, whatever we call ourselves. And in the United States right now, it is very encouraging that people who choose no religion, when they ask the question in the survey, people who chose no religion is growing very fast. It's growing faster than religion. Christianity is slowly dropping. Judaism is a respected minority, maybe 1.5% or 2%. And non-religion, in 1991, people who put non-religion were 7%, 1991. In 2001, that was 14% who picked non-religion. Today, it is 29%. They pick no religion. That doesn't mean they are atheists, all of them. Maybe half of that, 29%, you would say are atheist agnostics. Some people pick no religion, but they still believe in God. They still have some personal beliefs, but they just have no religion. But whatever that means, and we can debate what that means, but whatever it means, that number is growing very, very fast, especially with the young people. People who are 30 years old and younger, it's more like 35% or more of them who have no religion. Those are my grandchildren. They are very happy to have no religion at all. So you probably know that I used to be a Christian minister. For 19 years, I was a preacher. I was a Christian Protestant priest. I was a God man. I used to stand in the pulpit. And you know, sometimes when a God man speaks, or a minister or a priest speak, they change their voice. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. If you use that voice, people think, he's special. He has something. You just have to say, God is king, and you are a slave. God is the Lord, and you must submit and bow down humbly. Have you ever noticed that the postures of prayer, when people pray, what are the postures? You bow your head, you kneel down, you put your wrists together like slaves are shackled their wrists together, and you go like, you make yourself little, and you make God big. You make yourself small. And even in the Bible, the Apostle Paul in the Bible said, I am a slave of Christ. He was happy to say, I am a slave of Christ. And many Christians, and I used to feel that way. I used to feel the God's Spirit in my head. I used to pray for people. I used to seek for healing. And I used to think I was a humble, small servant of this great Master God. And you know what you lose with that? You lose all sense of what Periyar said. You lose all sense of self-respect. You have no self-respect when you are down, when you are small. You let the Master know, I am little. So we are fighting for all human beings on the planet, not just for women's rights, but also for gay rights, homosexual rights, trans rights. We are fighting for rights of our children to have a climate that is not changing so fast. We are fighting for many, many different issues so that we can truly say that we are all equals. That the ancient concept of hierarchy, which I think began about 6,000 years ago with the invention of cities and kings and lords and master. You could not have a concept of bowing down before a great master before there were great masters on our planet. And that happened maybe with Eridu, Uruk, and Ur in the ancient Mesopotamian cities. Before that, there were leaders, but they were temporary. After that, suddenly, the great king, master, lord. So, if we have this concept of hierarchy, then of course there's going to be caste system. Of course there's going to be racism. Of course there's going to be patriarchy and men over women. If we can change this structure from here to here, that we all respect each other equally and together, then we can get rid of, maybe we can make the gender gap 0.00. Huh? Would that be nice, huh? So I will end by saying that there can be no religious freedom without the freedom to dissent. And that I think the best hope for a world is a secular government that does not interfere with our private religious or non-religious views. Thank you so much for teaching us so much about rationalism in India.
The rationalist and the humanist and freedom for religion is concerned, we are far ahead of it. But we must all come together. That is more important. Because we want more dance. We want more Amitabhs. We want more Avinash Patils. Everywhere. Because, and we love to win the war. The war against ignorance. The war against inequality. The war against all kinds of atrocious things against humanism. That is more important. Here, there is officially, there is a chapter which has been inserted here, fundamental duties. There is fundamental rights, another is fundamental duties. And among them, for want of time, I don't want to digress, but straight away I go to the subject. It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to develop the scientific temper, to develop the scientific temper. There is a difference in the law, as lawyers know it. The scientific temper, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and the reform. All these things are combined only with the Dravida Kazhagam and FFFL. All free will. Because the basically thing is no religion now welcomes or advocates scientific temper. If it advocates scientific temper, it is no more, it could be called as a religion. The first qualification to be a religious person is believe what we say. As we read, believe. You will have to obey. Don't question. Accept. Believe. But whereas we, the free thinkers of the world, we may be in Tamil Nadu, he may be in America, he may be in some other countries. That doesn't matter, because humanization and Periyar has to be globalized now. This is right time. What they want is humanism. Our sense of humanism is the propensity to make the societies equal, to provide equal opportunity, to make it. We never discriminate on the basis of religion, on the basis of sex, on the basis of etc., blah, blah, blah. That's all. That is more important. And here, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Exactly. This is what we are doing, this kind of work. Exactly. For Periyar started this, the names may be different. Here it may be self-respect movement. Here it may be Rationalist forum. There it is freedom from religion. All this. But we are all joined together towards one goal, that is humanitarian, a free will. And only because of that we are able to bring this one. Can you see the person without any cell phone now? Whether the cell phone was invented by any of the religious persons? Otherwise, you would not have been a preacher at all. We need not call the card with a loud shout. Now, even for God, all religion, they use this one. Whether God is hearing it or not. And their prayers is helped being by the loudspeaker only. What does it mean? Loudspeaker was not invented by Jaina rishis, nor any religious persons. So now there is a very, very peculiar anachronism, I would like to say. They want to support religion, support superstition with the help of science. They are doing it in a scientific way to spread the unscientific ideas. So the work before us is very different. The work is that, first of all, we will have to educate to uneducate. We will have to make people to learn, to unlearn. That is more important. It is very peculiar one. How to unlearn is more important, because no, it is my grandfather's way. Your grandfather's way never sought this cell phone. Why you are using it? This question he cannot answer. Your grandfathers, let them be, do it, let them be very safe in the heaven or hell, whatever it is. We need not bother about it, but we will go march. We will take the society along with that. That is more important, where there is no discrimination. And this is the very fulcrum. This is the basic thing, basic idea. It may be his organization, freedom from religion. Dravida Kazhagam is doing the same work. Rationalist Forum is doing the same work. That is why I am very happy. And he has got the word as free thinker. This is very important. Freedom from religion foundation. Not only freedom from religion. He says religion connotes all kinds of belief. Otherwise, you will be dumb to hell. That is a problem. நம்பனவனுக்கு நடராஜா, நம்பாதவனுக்கு, those who believes, they will have to face that then everybody is being afraid. Nobody is nobody is prepared with that. They are not philosophers. That is why we are carrying this kind of propaganda. Sir, we welcome you with great heart. This kind of work we must hold. There may be political alliances. Now we are making it as social alliances, national alliances. I am very happy. We are very thankful to Mr. Avinash Patil. We are thankful to Mr. Amla and consider this as one of the areas. Because the only difference is Periyar did this one. Periyar movement is not after any political offices. And we are very happy to swim against the current. We never receive any bouquets, only brickbats. As you said, oh, everybody is there. At least you are spared to continue this work. But ours, our lives were attempted. Periyar's life was attempted. We have under incarceration, we have many times. But still we consider that is the proper price to convert people to think for themselves. So it is very easy for this kind of thing. And here, a small thing, I don't want to take much of your time. You see, this is the free thinkers' history of American secularism. One kind you will have to bring to your notice is, one point is, even in America, you see here, in our currency, we don't ask God to come there. When our Prime Minister decided to give this kind of reform, economic reform, the Panamani pyramid, you know this word. Demonetization. If God is there, God would have demonetized. He got it. You know this one? And in our currency, here we are very happy. Here, in God we trust. But here, even the fundamentalist very happy. This moment is, however, we are very happy. There is no place for God in currency. And not only that. In what we trust. We trust, that's all. Let God take rest, that's all. Let him be not disturbed, that's all. And I will tell you another incident. When there was a lady in America, he is a good friend of mine. When I had been there, he asked, Miss Veermani, I would like to ask one question, which is haunting in mind. Come on, madam, you come on, I can clear whatever it is I am able to say. That was very good. See, in your country, you are carrying a very good social organization. But your population is growing by leaps and bounds. 25, 30 crores, 100 crores, now 100 crores. It is going on. Are you not containing it? How you could develop the development of growth of the economy, growth of the other people? This is a very big problem. That is why I am more worried about. She is an American lady. She is basically from this Jewish community. But he is a family friend of mine at New York. We were talking. I told madam, why you must take up this cause and all. I said, look here. Our leader, our movement was the pioneering movement in 1930s about advocating birth control. And immediately she was taken aback. She was clapping her hands. Oh, we didn't know. Because ours is pioneering. But in spite of it, you may ask, why, in spite of it, how it is the growth of population is there? I said, basically, the mind is conditioned upon the people. People are poor, their poverty is there, and they don't have any other recreations, only procreations, that's all. That is the problem. Another thing is, how do they justify? That is one question. How do they justify and ask them? Oh, it is God given. It is God given. So, one more additional work is being given in India for God. That is God given. God given. All these things. Periyar has got a very high sense of humor. Yeah. He used to address, hey, if your God is so kind, you say that God is omnipotent, God is omnipresent, God is omniscient, Karanaye Vadivanam, is so humanistic. He ought to have given you 2 houses, 10 houses, 10 cows so that you could milk them and you all feed the children. Without giving the house, without giving the money, without giving the milk, he has ordered and he has given the children milk. Can be such a irresponsible rascal. Don't abuse the name of God. How he was telling. So this was the reason, because their mindset, we will have to disabuse their mindset. That work that is being done, because they go to disappear. We will have to disabuse our mind. What is the religion? Because no religion or no. Our population will come down. So don't advocate the birth control, all these things. And this was an answer. He was amazed to hear. Then at last, he said, this Veerapani, now I understand. Please advise your God. Don't ask him to work overtime. That's all. So how this concept?
Sir, they have been dispatched from Coimbatore, sir.
Conditions their mind.
I'll just offer them.
People are from freedom. We want to seek to freedom. No, nothing particularly about against preachers. Against people.
Let me confirm with my.
Because we want to save the people. And we want to make reasoning. Thereby the growth is very important. I am very happy. My dear friends from United States, you have done. And your information that earlier it was 3, then somewhat 39,000 or something, you have done. Another question is, let me conclude this one, thanking the profusely. Another question is, when another foreign friends came, they asked, sir, after interviewing me, many questions, sir, what is the membership of your organization? That question always, membership of your organization, DK, throughout the time. I said, Madam, we have find in our organization we are having 2 kinds of membership. One is visible, another is invisible. Immediately that young person, that young lady who was writing, taking notes, put down, oh, are you running an underground movement? Are invisible? I told, as visible members are invisible members. That's the 2 classifications. We can count, we can register the visible members, but not the invisible members. It is countless. That is more important. What is the difference between visible black shirts? Invisible, all these people who don't have the black shirts at all. Not only that, you see here, there, that gentleman there, he is a member of our organization, invisible member. He appears to be a religious person for appearance, but his heart of hearts is the most secularist thinker. He never but it is his way of life, just by putting some kind of dress and all these things. For him, this connotes more equality and all these things. So we don't want to convert them. We don't want to enlist them. We don't want to give them a membership. So our organization daily propagating this kind of thing without any political strings. If at all, even for women, this is the problem. You see here, normally women never attaches any caste names or other thing. For your information, sir, our movement is going to celebrate on 25th, 2025, the centenary of this movement. And our political movement, the Dravidian model government that is going on, that is why Tamil Nadu is far ahead than UP and all the states and yourself. Because it is a Dravidian model and an able and inspiring dynamic Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. This is why that is going on. For your information, my friends from America, even in that progressive state, they were fighting for women's suffrage. Voting right. வாக்களிக்கும் உரிமை அவங்களுக்கு இல்லை ரொம்ப நாள். But in India, 1922, the Justice Party, the Dravidian Party rule has secured that one even 100 years back because of this movement, Dravidian movement, because of this movement which is far ahead and far from freedom from religion. If you believe in religion, confine. If you take dictionary and see that word, what is the definition of religion? It is a communication with the supernatural or something. This is how they were defined. You communicate with the supernatural if it is there. Why you are bothering with all these things? And for another information, we the atheists, we the humanists, we the rationalists, we the free thinkers, we the people who are advocating freedom from religion, we never happen to be a person who believed in violence. We never believed in violence. We believe everybody should be our brothers and sisters. This kind of forging human humanity and more than integration. Religions are dividing people. Gods are dividing people. Rituals are dividing the people. And other things are dividing the people. But reason, humanism unites the people. The other name of Periyar is humanism. We human self-respect movement. The animals never care for self-respect. We don't advocate for animals. People, because the animals know. But humans only, it applies to the self-respect philosophy. That is why it is for us to unite and make people to realize that we are one and indivisible. Religion divides, gods divide, but reason, self-respect movement, Periyar movement, which is nothing but a humanist movement, freedom from religion movement, we all unite in humanity. That is why, even though he is from America, he is from Bombay, he is from everywhere, we are all one, the kith and kin. That is the philosophy of Dravidianism. Yadum ure, yavarum kedi. All our kith, all our kin. This philosophy is against religion, which has created various disparity among the people. That is why it is high time that we welcome you, sir, and we are all co-fighters. Our journey is towards the particular destiny, and we will go there. Whatever may be the foils and problems, we will face it. Whatever may be the trials and tribulation, we will solve it. We will carry on the torch. Let us hold our hands together and let us all hold our hands together so that we will force and let Periyar be the working model so that the Periyarism doesn't be humanism. So I am very happy. You ex-religionist, who is released from religion, and a person who was born without religion, all of them, they are one and useful. Thank you very much. All live our sense of unity. Let us promote our unity. This is the message that we are conveying. Thank you very much.